Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to my language learning podcast. I am Ana Michelle Padmag, and in today's episode we are diving into the fascinating topic of second language acquisition or SLA. Okay. We will talk about some early approaches to learning language and then focus on Stephen Krashen's famous theory, which includes 5 powerful hypotheses that have had a big influence on how we teach and learn languages. So let's get started. Okay, before Krashen, second language learning was mostly seen as a matter of habit formation. Many early approaches were based on behaviorist psychology, like the audiolingual method, which emphasized in repetition, drills, and imitation. The idea was the more you repeat, the more you learn. Later, the focus started to shift to how a language is used in real communication, which gave birth to the functional approaches. This emphasized the functions of language, like rating, asking for help, or giving advice, more than just grammar or vocabulary. It wasn't only about how to say something, but why and when to say it. This helped teachers see language not only as a structure to memorize, but as a tool for interaction in real situations. Okay? Now, Krashen's theory of SLA. Let's talk about Stephen Krashen, a well-known linguist who proposed 5K hypotheses about how people acquire languages. Here, what they are about. The one is the acquisition learning hypothesis. Krashen says there are two ways to get a language. Now, one is acquisition, which happens naturally, like how children learn their first language without thinking about rules. And the other is learning, which is more conscious, like studying grammar in class. Krashen believes acquisition is more powerful than learning. It's like absorbing the language without even realizing it. And that's correct. To the monitor hypothesis, this idea is about how the rules we learn can act like a monitor or a checker. So when we speak or write, we might use what we have learned the correct ourselves, but only if we have time, we know the rules, and we are focused on being correct. Too much monitoring can actually block communication. The three is the natural order hypothesis. According to Krashen, we don't learn grammar rules in the order they are taught. Instead, there's a natural order that our brains follow when we acquire language. Some grammar points come earlier, some later, and teachers can't force this order. They need to trust the process. Okay? Therefore, the input hypothesis, this is one of the most famous ones. Krashen says that we acquire language when we get comprehensible input. That means hearing or reading something we mostly understand, but with a bit of new language. He calls this I plus 1. What we already know, I plus a small step forward, plus 1. If input is too hard or too easy, we don't learn much. Okay. The 5, the affective filter hypothesis. This hypothesis says that the emotions matter a lot. If learners feel stressed, anxious, or not motivated, it's like a filter goes up and blocks learning. But if they feel relaxed and confident, the filter goes down and the brain is all ready to acquire new language. That is true. Okay, what I think about Krashen's theory. Personally, I think Krashen's theory is really useful, especially for teachers want to make language learning more natural and fun. What stands out most to me is the idea of comprehensible input, because I've noticed that I learn English better when I read or listen to something interesting and just slightly above my level. Also, the affective filter really makes sense. When I'm nervous, I can speak well, but when I feel calm, words come out more easily. I believe that combining meaningful communication with a positive environment is a key to helping students succeed. Okay, so that's all for today's episode. I hope this explanation helped you to understand the early approaches to SLA and Crashing's five hypotheses in a clear and simple way. Thanks for listening to me, and that's all.